Let's discuss some of these issues. I'm being joined by one of the stakeholders in the National Consultative Forum, some of those who are coming together to work with the Labour Party. He was also there at the Labour Party retreat, which held today in Abuja. Mr. Yunusa Tanko himself was a former presidential candidate. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanko, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
Perhaps we should go to this controversy before we go into the business of the retreat that you held today. Did you see the video we're talking about?
Well,
Mr.
there's so many videos making rounds.
So the one the APC is referencing is where Mr. Obi gave a telephone to someone seated beside him. Maybe the video was produced here in Nigeria or not. We cannot verify or know. But in that video, there was a WhatsApp message Mr. Obi was highlighting, and I asked the man to read out, which was inferring that voting on ethnic issues, Peter Obi or the Labour Party could mean that Igbos might lose their jobs, or voting Tinubu might, those kind of conversations were the kind of feeling that was generated from that video. And this was the reaction of the APC, saying your candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, is bringing up ethnic tension and making himself look like the victim. And they have alleged that him in fact, is the one that is orchestrating such ethnic division ahead of the election.
Well, let me quote Comrade Peter Obi just this afternoon when he was speaking. He said all of the presidential candidates, some of them are his senior brothers, and so much giving them so much respect as Nigerians leaders. He has never and will never derogate any individual, especially in the positions of leadership that already they have established good relationship. He has always been interested in issue-based politics and campaign. Not mudslinging, not backstabbing, not even mentioning people's name. So, but we are also aware that there are certain individuals who are trying to pin issues of religious and tribal sentiment on our candidate. And we have always tried to run away from it, and that is the reason why such information that you are already been seeing and probably they are touting already, because that is exactly where the target is. And we have made it very clear, Peter Obi will not engage in any personal attack on anybody. So I doubt that particular veracity of those particular statements that they are making reference to. And to say the fact, I think Nigerians have gone beyond these issues of personal attacks. And consistently, the oppositions are always trying to make a hay out of nothing because, quite honestly, our presidential candidates do not have time. His interest is in Nigerian people, and they're going to face the Nigerian people's issues.
One of the questions, and if you were following the conversation, is whether or not Mr. Peter Obi should have made that kind of video, knowing the kind of division already and how threatened the unity of the people of this country is presently, whether or not he should have even made the video, and that video shouldn't have even seen the light of day. Do you think that there should be some caution?
I am so sure that that video was not made even by him. I am 100% sure, because he's not that kind of a person in the first place. Neither is he even an ethnic religious person. He doesn't belong to any. His interest is the Nigerian project. So how could somebody who has always been promoting, remember at the NBA conference, this is somebody who well done and almost giving respect to his former principal. People were even castigating him because out of his respect for leadership, for people who are older than him. So how do you expect such a person to make such a video, knowing fully well that he respects his leaders? Look, Nigeria is in a very serious situation. We don't need all of these particular issues. Let's face the issue that concerns Nigeria. Let's talk about their unity. Let's talk about their issue of religious sentiment. Let's talk about their disunity. Let's talk about how to put food on their table. Let's talk about how to secure them. But because people have already lost so much ground They've put this country into so much bad situation. They are always looking at something into pin on Peter Obi. And we are not interested in that, honestly.
I mean, in all of the conversation, has your side realized some claims and some allegations about the manner in which you're going, your party and your candidate is going about its activities? Perhaps that may also help in the way and manner you go about your things, making inferences that your party or your candidate may be showing more of ethnic tendencies. Are you aware? Are you conscious of some of these tendencies?
In fact, this sounds like a story to me, because Ab Initio, he has never been an ethnic candidate. He has never been a religious candidate. Every time you hear him speak, he speaks on the Nigerian project.
You probably have heard the criticism of his visitation to churches also.
Oh, of course. He is a Christian. Where do you expect him to go to? Obatala? No. You should be even grateful that he went to churches. You are not seeing him in shrines. There are people who cannot even come out and say this is where they belong. This is somebody who goes to God's place to worship God. This is where he went. He's a religious person. That's to show you how religiously inclined that he is. And anybody who believes in God should have been somebody that everybody should eulogize. But all of them who are going from one corner to another, you heard a lot of the shrine that most of them are going, but he's not going to shrine, he's going to church. For crying out loud. That is God's worship. And everybody should be happy that we are having somebody who is actually so religious.
Now, let's go into the business of your retreat. What was the retreat about?
Oh, you know, for the last decades in this country, Nigerians have been under tremendous pressure of lack of insecurity, economic woes, individual and deceptions, lies. All of these have been weighing on Nigerian people. And I think this is the first time in decades where we need to come together. There's what we call the triangle of faith, where God has already joined us together. The campaign organization, the Labour Party, and all other support groups. Now, this is the best time for us to come together and look eyeball to ourselves and mobilize ourselves, tell ourselves the truth where we are wrong, where we are going forward, and that's the reason why we are having a retreat to discuss with each other how we are going to actualize the dreams of Nigeria, having a country that all of them will be proud of. And this, what happened today, is one of the most historic things that can happen in the history of Nigeria, where you see the NLC leadership, led by Comrade Ayuba Waba. You see the TUC leadership, under the leadership of Festus Osifo. You saw Professor Pat Utomi, the leader of the National Consultative Front. You saw all the leader of the party itself, led by Comrade Barrister Aburi, coming together to talk about Nigeria and to talk about how do we get it out of the wood. The reason why is that we needed to come together and talk to ourselves. And that was exactly what happened today. And I think Nigerians should be happy that today a new dawn has been established in this country, that where everybody, especially those in the working class people, have agreed to work together. They have made it publicly. So anybody who is in doubt that Nigerians are not ready to take leadership in 2023, today has been confirmed that all of us are ready to work together to emancipate Nigeria.
And I hope that we'll be able to put some of the images of that retreat so that we can speak to them tonight with my guests. So you're confirming to us tonight that Mr. Peter Obi has the affirmation or the endorsement of the labor unions, the NLC and the TLC. Is it that of the leadership or of the entire labor movement?
Of course, what you saw today brought in the entire leadership and including the state leadership from both TUC and NLC, the Labour Party, including the candidates of the political party itself. Everybody that is who in this particular movement were in that particular hall.
What is the labor group, TLC, NLC, and the workers? What are they bringing to the table? Why is it, on what grounds, at what congress, at what event did the labor body in Nigeria agree to make Peter Obi or Labour Party their party or their candidate?
Okay, don't forget they have what they call the political commission. Both the TUC and the NLC have political commission. There have been a meeting within those political commission where an affirmative position is being made and discussions were made with all the chairmen of the political commissions that, look, we need to revamp and make our own party workable. And when it was agreed, the candidate of the party, of course, was Peter Obi. And at the end of it all, Peter Obi himself visited the Labour Congress Secretariat, he visited the TUC, and where they even gave him the document of the Charter of Demand and the other document of transformation agenda of the TUC. So these are preparatory ground for a synergy between the party itself, which is owned by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, including the principal himself. And so the grand finale of all of this particular ground swelling was what you saw today. So an agreement has been made, a confirmation has been made, and a pronouncement has been made. So anybody who is in doubt should now go and start rethinking. Yes, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC and all other groups, including the National Consultative Front, and any other Nigerians who believe to rescue Nigeria, today it has been crystallized and confirmed that yes, the workers of Nigerian people are ready to take back their country for the benefit of their unborn children.
What is the population that the Labour Party is projecting that the Labour will be bringing to the table?
You know, at a point in time, there were accusations and insinuations that we don't even have structure. Now, I'm quoting the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who spoke, which you say you are going to get some of the clip. He said that all of the structures of the NLC in the 774 local government will be brought to bear. So also is the TUC. So also is NC Front. So also is the party itself. So you can.
What are the numbers? Do you have the numbers?
Oh, the numbers are gone beyond your imagination, because I'm talking about each offices even in the world level. What is the
population of Labour that you're latching on?
The population of Labour is large in number. If I give you an X number, I may not be giving you an accurate number. So I would like to label my position on the population that comprises of all Nigerian workers, both in the TUC and the NLC. So you can do the mathematics.
So you think that with the Labour, with the NCF and the supporters of the Labour Party, you are home and dry?
Yeah, because those ones too will become our canvassers. While they are hinging on themselves as workers, they have children, they have wives, they have siblings, they have brothers and sisters. They talk to them. So what you will end up seeing out of the 96 million registered voters, according to INEC, and then as regard to the 12 million that was added to the 84 that was done, which gave you the 96, you may be seeing a very large number of votes that is cut across, doubling the number of what we had in 2019, with the president won with 19 million, 15 million votes. So we are expecting, if these particular working class people, with regard to their families, with regard to their brothers and sisters, and they reach out to everybody in the local government, because we are targeting the world level, believe me, we will have a large number of voters. And God knows, probably we'll be talking about 40 to 50 million.
Most of members of Labour, a huge population of the Labour Union are civil servants.
Yes.
Either in the state or at the federal level.
Yes.
Are you aware of the turnout and the voting population of civil servants within the general voting population in Nigeria? Are you aware?
Yeah.
Are you aware that it's very dismal? They rarely come out on election day.
Yeah.
Are you aware that most of them, the population, is even less than 15% at the last check of those of them who are registered voters, who are civil servants in this country?
Exactly.
Does this give you any worry?
No, not at all. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, the people are the one moving this particular...
No, the reason why I'm asking this question is because it looks like you are relying, since there is a criticism that Labour Party does not have a structure, and perhaps your candidate does not have a deep-rooted structure to win an election. Those are the criticism, and you're latching on the Labour Party structure to be able to work things out. And now bringing to you that the reality is that most of those you are relying on, the civil servants, are not your traditional voter in Nigeria based on history.
This particular election in 2023 is an unconventional politics that will come out.
Okay.
Let me be frank with you, John. For a very long time, the Nigerian workers are not comfortable with those who are leading them. For a very long time. So probably if you want to assert your statistics on that particular past glory or past issues, this time around is a different ballgame entirely. Sheung, people are going on the street, financing, they are mobilizing, they are producing billboards, they are feeding people by themselves using their own hard-earned resources. No single kobo has been given to any person to do much that you saw in Enugu, to do much that you see in Plateau, to do much that was proposed in Kaduna that was dismembered by the powers that be in the state for obvious reasons, because they know that when the people come out, it will be a monumental coming out. So even in Kano, there are people there. I have been to Sokoto, I have been to Kabi, I have been to Katsina, I have been to Jigawa, and I have seen myself, people building billboards by themselves. So what you will expect is that people are the one financing this project. It has never been done in the history of this country. Never. So the people themselves...
Have you concluded on the online donation scheme
you can see
that your
that
party is working on?
Today, they just unveil the online registration and even unveiling the free membership card, because there are so many people who want to register under the party, and they were given the opportunity now that the presidential candidate provided to make sure that everybody is given the opportunity to register, and it was free of charge. So people can now go into their wards, go into the Labour Congress's offices and ask for this particular card.
What about the donation?
The donation is another different thing entirely.
Are you still open to get donations from outside of the country?
When the time comes for issue donation, we will take care of it. But let me make this clear. We have not opened any account for any donation, because our principal is very mindful of those who want to pin issues of finances on them. And he has made it very clear that when even issue of finances come in, it will be publicly accounted for to show his prudency and his continuous accountability nature, which he has shown in the state of Anambra as a prudent person who spends the money for the interest of the people. And that is why some of them are finding it difficult to really, up till now, trying to debunk that particular issue of 75 billion now.
Alhaji Tanko, let's close. And on this note, I'd like to ask you, you must have a projection. You've run for presidential election before.
Yes, I did.
You've led a political party before. You've been in this game for a while.
That's right.
What is a projection of the Labour Party? Which are the states that in your mind, in your thinking, you think it's going to be easy? How many of them?
Sheung, I can give you off-head all of this, but believe me, I wouldn't want to divulge this information on the air now.
Maybe you're not sure.
No, I'm very sure. In fact, more than sure. But because, for strategic reason, because we don't want our opponent to start calculating and thinking that, okay, we are making permutation, they will go there and now. But one thing they should be ready for is that Nigerians are ready to take back their country. And they will do that in en masse. Cut across all of this Federal Republic of Nigeria. I can assure you that.
Alhaji Yunusa Tanko, a chieftain of the Labour Party and a member of one of the leaders of the National Consultative Front, one of those groups that is coming together team and putting support behind Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Thank you so much indeed.
God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I appreciate your time.